Good morning students. Today I am going to explain about tools of genetic engineering 2. Okay. In this tools of genetic engineering, in the last video I have explained you restriction endonuclease enzyme is also called as the molecular scissors. Okay. So this genetic engineering 2 of the tools, again we are going to discuss about the detailedly the restriction endonuclease enzyme only. Okay, this restriction endonuclease enzyme is actually a defense. It gives the defense mechanism to the bacteria. It is giving a defense mechanism, means it just modifies the recognitions. It just modifies the recognition of the bacteria. Okay, so that it is called defense mechanism. This restriction endonuclease enzyme consisting of three types is there. That is restriction endonuclease 1, 2, nuclease 1, 2, 3 types is there, in which the 2 is most predominantly will be used in the recombinant DNA technology, because it have the tendency to that is recognizes the within a 10 kilo base pair. 10 kilo base pair, it identify the recognized site. Okay, where it has to go and where it has to cut particular base pair will be recognized within a 10 kilo base pair or at or smaller numbers nearest to that. Okay, so that's why they are telling the endonuclease 2 is very important also, and it is most widely used in the genetic engineering or the recombinant DNA technology. And one more endonuclease name is HindII2. This is also most commonly used restriction endonuclease. This will recognize the recognition site within the 6 kilo base pair, so that it is called restriction endonuclease HindII2. Okay, so this HindII2 is a 6 kilo base pair, that is a restriction endonuclease can able to identify the restriction endonuclease and recognize the sites. Example, this is a plasmid. Okay, so this is a plasmid. Suppose this is the origin of replication. I tell you what is the origin of replication. This is a gene here, the genes which is responsible for giving the a replication of its own DNA into a one more copies or multiple numbers of copies same as such it is. So it is given by the origin genes which is present in the plasmid. And one more gene, its name is called this is called a restriction site. Okay, this restriction site, the enzyme have to come and cut this site, so that it has to recognize that particular site of the called recognized site. Okay, this site 6 kilo base pair is enough to cut by this enzyme, and 10 kilo base pair is enough to cut this plasmid. Okay, so this is about here this thing. Okay, and also this there is in the nowadays there are so many different kinds of restriction enzymes have been identified. That is 900 types of restriction enzyme have discovered in the 230 strains of the bacteria. Strains of the bacteria means in bacteria, that is the Escherichia coli, it consisting of many strains, many varieties in the Escherichia coli is called strains. Okay, so in that cases, in that 230 strains is give the 900 different restriction endonuclease enzyme, which is very important in the recombinant DNA technology. Okay, and they will follow the very unique naming standard procedure for the naming of this enzyme. Okay, so what are they that they have given in you in the textbook? Okay, I'll tell you only the example of E. coli. Okay, suppose the E. coli is there, E. coli R1. Okay, so the this is E. coli. Okay, E. coli R1. This is one of the famous restriction endonuclease enzyme. How they given this name to this restriction enzyme? Because this enzyme, that is the E is taken from the genus, the CO is taken from the species, and R is taken from the, it is a RY13 strain of E. coli bacterium. Okay, and the one Roman letter 1 indicating the number of discovery they are giving. So at which number of discovery they discovered, number of discovery in their laboratory. That is the number, Roman letter. Okay. So this is eco R1. Okay. This is the main thing. So based on this naming procedure only, they will be following for the naming standard procedure for the restriction endonuclease enzyme. Okay, so on this eco R1, if you are taking this eco R1, this is suppose eco R1 plasmid. Okay, so this is one plasmid, and this eco R1 enzyme, along with it, it is having a two selectable marker, that is antibiotic resistant, ampicillin resistant gene and tetracycline resistant gene. This is I will explain you in the later. Okay, so this is an ampicillin resistant gene and a tetracycline resistant genes. Okay, and also if you are taking the particular sequences in the DNA, they will be in the palindromic in the sequence. Palindromic in the sequence. What is called palindromic sequence? That is, if you are taking a Malayalam, if you are taking a madam, so these are all the word you can read on from the either of the side. Okay, that is example. If suppose take it as this is a DNA strand 5' to 3', 3' to 5'. If you are reading from either side, you will be getting the same meaning. That is called palindromic sequence, which is recognized by this enzyme. That is our eco R1 enzyme. Okay, and this restriction enzyme will give the different type of cut. I told you it will cut at one particular side of the plasmid or the vector. Okay, so this cutting site it will give the two types of cutting. That is, one cut is called blunt end. Another cutting is called protruding end. Sorry. So A, T, C, G. Okay, and A, T, C, G, T, A. So this is called the this is a recessive or protruding end. This is called the flush or the blunt end, because it is blunderly it is cutting. No, it is called a blunt end. But if you are taking this end is called a sticky end. In the next step, if you are taking, it will be stick like this. How it will be stick? It will be stick like this. Separate, we draw in the separate side. So this is the sticky end. It is going to stick. Okay, stick one with the another, so that it is called a sticky end or protruding end. This is a blunt end or the flush end. This is given by, this kind of cut will be given by depending upon the restriction enzyme only. Okay, so this is the main important of this thing. Okay, next, and also along with this you will be having a two more enzyme, that is DNA ligase enzyme as well as the DNA phosphatase enzyme. So DNA ligase enzyme is a next tool in the genetic engineering after the restriction enzyme. So what it will do? It is doing the ligating, that is it is linking the thing. What is it is linking? It's actually taken from the T4 phage, that is T4 bacteria phage. We will be taking this DNA ligase enzyme. So we will be doing like a, suppose this is the phosphate I am drawing here. Okay, this is P4, right? So here OH and this end is with the OH. This is a 5', sorry, this is a 5' end. DNA strand is continued here, so I will write it as a DNA strand. Here the 3' end, and this is DNA strand is coming. Okay, so this this get connected by this by adding of a DNA ligase enzyme. It will linking this 5', that is with the 5', O phosphate OH. Okay, and 3 prime. This is getting a linking the strand with the DNA ligase enzyme with this 5 prime end. It is adding the 5 prime end. Okay, it is adding at the 5 prime end. So this 3 prime, this phosphate is present at the 5 prime end, and here the OH will be present at the 3 prime end. This 3 prime end of the OH will connected with the 5 prime end of the phosphate molecule by the DNA ligase enzyme, and it is a ATP dependent enzyme. It need a ATP to ligate these two. Okay, so that you will be getting a continuous lines of the this thing. Okay, so and this DNA ligase is taken from the T4 phage, that is T4 bacteriophage they are telling. Okay, this is about DNA ligase enzyme. Next enzyme I am going to tell you about alkaline phosphatase enzyme. This is third important, very important enzyme in the tools of genetic engineering, because this enzyme main role is it modifies the enzyme. It modifies by adds or remove a methyl group. CH3 is methyl group at 5 prime end of the DNA. Okay, at 5 prime end of the DNA strand. Example, and this is used for, we can use for double stranded DNA, single stranded DNA, and also you can use for RNA. And this is taken from the calf, intestine and bacteria. We can isolate this alkaline phosphatase. Okay, I didn't write here the this thing enzyme name, that is alkaline phosphatase. That is alkaline phosphatase. So this alkaline phosphatase example I am drawing here. It is avoiding, one more point, it's avoid or preventing self-ligation of self-ligation. What is self-ligation? Suppose the 3 prime end, 5 prime end of the phosphate, it is get circularized by the by this DNA ligase. DNA ligase always ligating these two by linearized DNA. DNA வந்து ஒரு இடத்துல கட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். Okay, கட் பண்ணி இப்படி இருக்கு, ரவுண்டா இருக்கு. So that will be cutted on one particular side so that it makes us a linear. So the linear part is DNA ligase வந்து என்ன பண்ணுது? Circularize பண்ணுது. Okay, so that's what I am going to draw here. Okay, this is a 3 prime OH, 3 prime OH, 5 prime phosphate, 5 prime phosphate, and 3 prime OH is there. Okay, now I am adding a DNA ligase. So what will be happening? It gets circularized by the this thing, DNA ligase. Suppose in case adding alkaline phosphatase, what it will do? It is avoiding the self ligation. Okay, suppose in this thing I am adding this is 1, this is 2, and third one, the foreign DNA is added here. The foreign DNA means I am telling here that is a recombination, adding here. So how it will be like? This is a recombinant plasmid. Okay, so this is about your alkaline phosphatase. I have shown you in the diagram itself. Okay, in the next video I will explain you in detail about vectors, that is plasmid vectors. Thank you.